Hi, my name's Caleb, and today I'm going to be showing you how to take two images in GIMP and lay them on top of each other. So to basically simply cut and paste an image onto another image, or to Photoshop a picture into another picture. You can do this with many different things. You could maybe put, if a family portrait doesn't turn out right and one kid's face is awkward in the one good photo, you could maybe lay another photo right on top of his face, something like that, or take, an X-wing and put it on a sunset, which is what we will do here. So first you need to open your GIMP and open your X-wing photo or whatever photo you choose. Now I'm going to show you two ways to do this. I'm going to show you a very simple way, and then I'm going to show you the way I learned it, which is very similar but a little bit more complicated. So how you do this is you have your image opened up, and then you are going to open as another layer your picture of whatever you want. In this case, it's going to be a sunset. So we open it, and at first it'll be on top, but basically all you'll do is select it on the layers panel and bring it down. Now, in order to get the images to be pretty scaled, I'm just going to take a look, and the sunset needs to be slightly bigger, so we're just going to scale that real quick. And you can just use either the scale tool or whatever you want to use to do it, and we'll scale that about there. And we'll go back up to the top one to see this. Now you're going to select the layer, which if you have, it'll be pretty easy, and you are going to go to the layer tab and select transparency, and then hit add alpha channel. Now this will allow you to add stuff to the top without messing with the bottom. Now what you're basically going to do now is you're going to erase everything you don't want. So you're going to come over here, select the erase tool. Let's see. Okay. Probably I only need a small size for this one because it's a very small photo. But the best way to do it is to zoom in on the photo and then pick where you're going to start from, and basically just go in and erase everything around it. Now, a really easy trick that I've learned is to, if you want to draw straight lines like this without taking like forever, just click somewhere, click where you want to start from, hit shift, and that will give you a straight line, and then you can pick where you want to end it, and look, you have a perfectly straight erase line that you don't really have to do a lot to mess with. And right now we only need to trim the outline because we want to just measure basically. So, and it'll go a lot quicker this way because then you don't mess up on anything, take out any of the X-wing. So I'll go around really quickly and do that for you. I'll also give some tips as we go on erasing, on editing, other things. Now you want to get as close as you can to it, otherwise it'll look like there's some white. But if there is a little bit of white, we can always edit that out once we see it. But it's just all a matter of what you want, how much you want showing, and how dedicated you are to doing this. Because if you really don't care, then you can do a really quick, easy job. But if you honestly do care, you're going to want to take a really long time to do most of this. I probably won't spend too much time on this because this is just an instructional video, and the time you want to put into it, that's all up to you. I won't tell you, but it does eventually look really nice when you do take a lot of time. I've done photography projects like that, and everybody I've spent hours maybe on one photo, just cropping it and stuff, and people really appreciate it. But that's all up to you. I won't force you to do anything, and I'm not your mommy. So yeah. Now I'm gonna kind of talk about the second way to do this a little bit while I am kind of cutting this out. Now the second way, it's actually very similar. You're gonna be doing most of the same stuff, like adding the alpha layer and uh, erasing around it and then merging down, which I'll get to later. But it's just a tad bit different. There's a few extra steps that you have to take uh, to do it this other way. And the other way is actually really nice because then you can save the image without a background. And I'll explain a little bit more on that later, but then you can use that stuff for everything, like anything you want, and it's already cut out, like the background's already gone. So it's really helpful, but it does take a little bit more time and is slightly confusing. It took me quite a while to figure out how to do it myself. So my dumb mouse doesn't want to work. All right, let's see what I can do. All right, there we go. So if you've ever used GIMP before, you'll know most of these tools, though. They're pretty easy to use. GIMP, I highly recommend for anybody beginning Photoshop or just wanting to learn how to Photoshop some things, basic stuff like, colors, cropping, this kind of stuff. Very great, and it's 100% free. I'm not advertising this. I'm not getting paid to advertise this. I'm just stating the fact. It's a great program. It does have its quirks, but it does work very well and gets the job done. I'm going to probably speed up a little more on how I'm going to do this. Not going to get the best cut on this. You know what? Actually, there is a third way. I can show you how to do this. So I may actually show you a third way. Third way is a little bit simpler than all this, but it doesn't look as good because because it's a little harder to select around. You can't get that quite as nice as some of these other ways. But it's still it's still a good way to learn how to do it or know how to do it. I would say, because it took me forever and I really needed it, and it's very useful in this program. So I'll show you that technique as well. But, GIMP, Photoshop, great stuff. Love to do it. Great for photography projects. Oops. Great for just maybe messing around or trying to find something to get into. So once you have basically your outline completely done, you're going to then just up the size on your brush or your erasing tool. No, not that big. Big enough so that, maybe this is a little easier. Probably not that big, probably go a little bit smaller, maybe a little bit bigger than that. Probably about this, and then you can just kind of fill in where you've already erased from. And this won't be perfect, but it's just an instruction video. So, make sure to do both sides. Try and get as close as you can to make it look really nice. It does help if you use smaller tools to begin with and then bigger as you go on. But I'm not going to go too small or go through that progression because it takes a really long time, as I said. But the work does pay off because it looks super nice. So if you are dedicated enough to the time and to the effort, highly recommend going all out on it. See, I'm kind of going a little sloppy, but you can actually make it look really nice if you do put all the time and your heart into this that you want. And it's all up to you. I'm not telling you you should. I'm just saying it looks better but personal preference, not your mommy. And yeah, so once you have basically all that white removed, or the entire background that you want removed, you're basically going to go back over to the layer. You're going to right click, and you'll hit merge down, and your image has now been merged together, and that's the whole picture. So you can't really move the top or the bottom, and it all works together. Now I'm going to show you a second way to do this, and you know what, I'm actually going to do it slightly different. I'm going to hit Control Z on the merge, undo this, and so you can kind of see what it looks like without. Now basically you'll open this picture, do all that same stuff, but you will export this as a PNG format, not a PM, a PN as in nacho. So you'll type PNG, otherwise it won't save. Export, shouldn't take too long. Now come back over to here. See, we can even remove this layer now, and see, delete layer, and then click File, open as layers, find your PNG of that same photo, open it, and you basically get the same thing, and you end up having the exact same thing going on, and you can put them together and merge them down. Now the last one I'm going to show you, I'm going to open the X-Wing photo once again, just the original one, and go back to this one, and I will just remove, I'm going to just undo pretty much everything, and I will remove the top layer from it, and so we have our sunset. Now if we come over here to our other X-Wing, it's kind of small, so I always like to zoom in. You can use this magic tool called the scissors tool, or the special cut. Looks like a little scissors over here. What you'll do is you'll click, and it will select, and it will kind of guess for you, and you can adjust it as you go. It should guess. If you do shift, it might do a straight line, but usually not, because it guesses automatically. And so this one goes pretty quick, especially if you're going pretty fast or know what you're looking for. I probably won't go too much. I'll just try and get as much of the X-Wing as you can. It will try and form to like the pixels of the picture, so if you see it like cut across like that, all you have to do is maybe add another point in the middle, and then it'll come out. But this one is actually pretty easy. I'll go pretty quick on this one, only for sake of time. But this one is basically cutting and pasting. You will in essence, you're going to, or even copy and pasting. If any of you like to copy and paste, like on Word documents, this is going to be an exact same type of technique. All you're going to be doing is removing, say, the bottom or the top, taking it from one thing and adding it onto another in some form. I'm going to go really quickly because this is starting to get annoying and being a pain, which is why I personally like to use the other one, but what you choose is up to you. Basically, once you finish, you'll connect the final dot, hit enter to select, and you'll see like the little ants moving around. That's what my teacher called it when she told me how to use this, called ants, and that's what you have selected. Now what you'll do is either go to edit, hit copy, or cut. For the sake of this, I'm probably just going to cut, and it will remove it, and so you can kind of see. If you have a background on it, it'll be pretty easy. You'll come over to here, you will come over to edit, paste as, and then select new layer, and that will basically do the same thing as opening it opening a new picture as a new layer, and then you'll basically move it into position, maybe do a little bit of editing, like erasing the edges if you miss something, and then go back to the layer board, right click, merge down, and you have a final picture. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's probably really long, and I'm sorry for it, but I hope you enjoyed seeing a few different ways on GIMP how to take an image and put it in a new spot, or take an image from one section of a photo and add it to another. So basically that's the essence of Photoshop, other than maybe healing and stuff. But hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you later.